Good morning. We're going to begin with Ricky Byers' song Holy, Holy Way, which has a call and a response part. So I hope you'll sing along with the trio. You can sing along with me too, whatever you want to sing. Just sing. 2, 3, 4.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me know that love is all around. Let me know that love is all around. Oh, let me know that love is all around. Let me know that love is all around. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me know that love can heal us all. Let me know that love can heal us all. Oh, let me know that love can heal us all. Let me know that love can heal us all. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let my steps reveal a path of peace. Let my steps reveal a path of peace. Oh, let my steps reveal a path of peace. Let my steps reveal a path of peace. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way.
Good morning. Is that on? Good morning and welcome. I didn't hear that it was on. To the Center for Spiritual Living in Santa Rosa. I'm Tamira Hume, a practitioner here at our center. Thank you to our wonderful band and thank you to Patrick on the harmonica. Woo, 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 woo. Giving doesn't work without receiving. To give without receiving is like breathing out without breathing in. Spiritual circulation is the recognition of the fact that life has an inherent flow. And when we open to receive, we allow that flow to carry us boldly toward a bright and beautiful future. Whether you're in the room or you're watching online, please know you are indeed welcome here, where we open to receive everyone by honoring inclusion, equity, and diversity. Please join me in reading our mission. The Center for Spiritual Living is a spiritual community that promotes global transformation through personal transformation. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. We are motivated by a compelling global vision that inspires us to bring the gifts of compassion, integrity, and loving kindness to the world through our programs and teaching. Together, we are helping create a world that works for everyone. We learn to embody this mission through our 5 spiritual practices. Might you please read those with me? Spiritual study, affirmative prayer, meditation, selfless service, and spiritual circulation. We use flowers at the center to send messages of love and appreciation. Today's beautiful dedication is from Sharon Hawthorne and is for our entire CSLSR community. She says, in October of 2005, I attended the CSLSR for the very first time, and I heard Reverend Edwards say, "Change your thinking, change your life," and was very intrigued. For 20 years, I've kept coming back, and indeed, my thinking and my life have changed profoundly, all for the good. I am blessed to have found this solid ground and wish to thank every congregant, minister, practitioner, staff member, and volunteer who makes up this community for being part of my journey and part of my spiritual home. Thank you, Sharon. We would now like to extend a warm welcome to our first-time visitors. First-time visitors, would you please stand as you are able or raise your hand? We would really like to bring you a welcome packet and a flower as a token of our gratitude that you are here with us today. Please remain standing or keep your hand up. Yeah, that's great. If you are online watching for the first time, let us know that in the chat. We're really grateful to have you here. I would now like to invite Nancy Reynolds to come up to share about our Giving Intention season. Thank you.
Thank you, Tamira. Good morning. We are 1 week into our Giving Intention season. It's the time of year when we are invited to pause and ask the question, what is mine to give in the coming year? If you were here last week, you received a packet of information which had the Giving Intention form in it. And if you weren't here last year, or if you need another form, I'd like to invite you to stop by the tables in the social hall. They have them there for you. Those tables are right outside the door. And also, I wanted to mention that the form is available on our website, CSLSR.org, if you prefer to go high-tech, which is my preferred way of doing it. And also, if you're watching online, that's an easy place to get that form. Now, I want to be sure to mention, you don't need to be a member of our center to complete a Giving Intention form. Everyone is invited to participate. I do want to give you an update. As of today, we have received 78 Giving Intention forms turned in. So thank you for that. That's a solid start to this really important season of giving, of generosity and intention. Each of those forms represents a life touched and changed. And then each of those lives goes out to change and touch more lives. Now, about the form, in addition to presenting you with the free thank you gifts and a place to state your giving intention for next year, the form also has a place for us to notice and note how the center has benefited us from our spiritual life. I want to share with you a couple of things that people have shared in the past, and I'll tell you honestly, I could have written either of these. They so resonate with how I feel about the center, and maybe you as well. So here's the first one. Being part of this center has given me hope in the midst of a crazy world. My life is definitely enhanced by my participation. Another person said, my eyes are misty and my heart is full. this center has been such a blessing for me and for so many others. When we support the center, we are supporting our mission that we just read to raise humanity to its spiritual magnificence, one consciousness at a time. That's not just a slogan. It's not just something we read on Sunday mornings. It's actually happening every day through us. Now, I want to say a few words about next year's theme, One World, One Heart in 2026. Next year, we are embarking on an inspiring journey through the world's great spiritual traditions. We're going to be exploring them all through the lens of science of mind. We'll start the year by leaning into our own foundational science of mind teaching in January. And then throughout the year, we will visit, and I want to make sure I get these all, so here we go. We will visit Islam, Baha'i, Christianity, Buddhism, Taoism, Native American wisdom, paganism, Judaism, Hinduism, and Sikhism. Now, you may be wondering, why this focus? We're looking to deepen our sense of unity. We're looking to strengthen connections with other faith communities and to live out our founder Ernest Holmes' call to remain open at the top. It reminds me that I always have more to learn and that inspiration can come from anywhere. So throughout the year, we will also be partnering with 12 nonprofit organizations. They're the ones I shared last week, and they were all nominated by individuals within our spiritual community. So if you didn't hear those, or if you'd like to go deeper into those, you can pick up a copy of the list at the tables right outside the door. Now, you may not know this. I heard this last year, but I forgot about it, so I'm reminding myself. Each of those organizations offers opportunities to volunteer. It's a great way to build lasting relationships and also support work that aligns with our mission to raise humanity to its spiritual magnificence. I love that phrase. Now, as we continue with our service this morning, let's take with us the spirit of generosity and intention. I trust that somewhere between the music, the meditation, the prayer, the practices, and the message from Reverend Russ is exactly what each of us is ready for the next step of our spiritual journey. So again, welcome. Thank you for being here. This next song will take us into a time of silent contemplation and prayer.
I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God.
Won't you sing that with me?
I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is more than enough. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is sacred love. Now I will leave this day as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this day as it is, go inside to find my God. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is more than enough. Inside there is peace. Inside there is joy. Inside there is sacred love. Now I will leave this life as it is, go inside to find my God. And I will leave this life as it is, go inside to find my God. Go inside to find my God. Go inside to find my God.
There is such sweetness, this coming together this morning in the name of love, in the name of recognizing and feeling that center from which all life comes. The divine, one life, one love, one spirit, and each and every one of us, all of life, it flows through, acts as, is. Spirit being all that there is, it's more than a knowingness. It's a feeling. It's that deep inner wisdom, that connection that we have with one another. It is life. And I know that I am life. I am life divine, as is every single living thing. And I feed this life with love, with peace, with harmony, with prayer, with meditation. Knowing that Spirit is always, always available with answers before I even ask that question. Just turning within. I'm knowing this about myself, and I'm feeling this with my entire being, and I'm knowing this about every single one of us, whether here in this room, whether home, everyone, everywhere, individual. We have that connection because we are all one in the name of Spirit, and yet Spirit, so creative, gave each of us our own unique personality. We each a mosaic, each their own pattern, their own song, their own voice. Knowing this, loving this, excited about this, I give such great thanks for us being together this morning, for knowing that this service comes together in all of its beauty, and that the words that we are about to hear from Reverend Russ penetrate, and each one of us takes with us that nugget of gold that so enhances our life. So I do give thanks for our beingness, for our connection. And with this feeling, nothing more need to be said, so I can simply release this word and invite us all to say together, and so it is. Amen. Good morning. My name is Sherry Poole, one of the prayer practitioners here at our center, and I would just love it if you would read this morning's affirmation with me. My generosity inspires a legacy of love and abundance, and so it is.
Beyond these walls, there's a whole world that's spinning, they say. It's all about losing and winning, but I know that's a lie. And this is just the beginning, and the future is in my hands. We're building a place where everyone can belong, woven together like the notes of a song. I open up my mind, I open up my heart, and I run my race, and I play my part. Building a place where everyone can belong. Beyond these names, beyond all these colors, we're one family. And we are sisters and brothers, and all I want to do is bring the best out in others, 'cause together the world is ours. We're building a place where everyone can belong, woven together like the notes of a song. I open up my mind, I open up my heart, and I run my race, and I play my part. Building a place where everyone can belong. Where everyone can belong, woven together like the notes of a song. I open up my mind, I open up my heart, and I run my race, and I play my part. Building a place where everyone can belong. Where everyone, building a place where everyone, building a place where everyone can belong.
Good morning. And we give some more love to our incredible band. Thank you. Last week, I got in my truck and I took a drive out to Mono Lake, which is about southeast of Lake Tahoe on the eastern side of the Sierras. And I've been to a lot of really incredible places since I moved to California, like Yosemite and Joshua Tree and Mount Shasta. But I hadn't yet experienced the magic of the Eastern Sierras, and they came highly recommended to me by one of our longtime congregants, Bob Hart. Where are you, Bob? I know you're here today. He's sitting way in back because he knew I was going to call him out. But Bob was great. He was adamant that if I wanted to do some really good astrophotography, this is the place to do it because it's very dark. There's not a lot of light pollution. So I packed up my truck and I drove out to Lee Vining, and I proceeded to off-road up this really sketchy old mining road right off of Highway 120, and camped on this rocky clearing that had an incredible view of Mono Lake and all of the surrounding valley. And to say that it was stunning, I think, is to insult the Sierras, because it was truly gorgeous. Now, it was a long drive, so I knew I needed to set up my tent. It was starting to get dark out and get my telescope ready to do astrophotography. And also, I noticed that, well, I'm camping at 9,000 feet, so it's a little hard to breathe. So I figured this is as good a time as any to go to bed. And that's when I met the first rock in my story. I'm not new to camping. I had an inflatable mattress pad that I thought was pretty good. But you know what? The instant that I lay down, there was this big, sharp rock that was poking me right in the back. The whole night, I don't know why I didn't get up to move the rock. If you know, please tell me. But it stole my sleep that whole night, that one jagged rock. And it was a little bit later on my trip that I realized that that rock, well, it's a lot like what happens when I'm not able to receive. I know that when I'm unable to receive, that I feel jagged. I feel sharp. I feel rough. I can sometimes feel stuck and even stubborn and unyielding. And just like that rock was stabbing me through that mattress, stealing my sleep, I can't feel comfortable. In fact, it's so bad that I often feel like I'm sharp and jagged with other people too. Now, here at the center, we define that spiritual practice that Tamira shared with us, spiritual circulation, as giving, receiving, asking for forgiving, and thankfulness. That rock, that jagged rock, was sharp likely because it isn't able to receive the rain that erodes most of the rocks that you would find on the western side of the mountains. In climate science, this is called a rain shadow. It's a place where the climate doesn't bring much rain. It all lands on the west side of the mountain. So that rock, it's not able to receive the rain. You might say that it's not able to receive the flow of life. And it's that flow of life that tends to soften it. And so the rock remains jagged and harsh. And everywhere that it goes, it makes things a little bit more uncomfortable. And it reminds me of times when I'd been like that jagged rock because I didn't know how to receive. And often I would let myself, or I wouldn't let myself receive the kind of feedback, especially in my workplace, that would have helped me to be a kinder person. Thinking that if I did receive that, well, then I must be admitting that there's something wrong with me, that I am a bad person, that I was mean to someone. And so I would get defensive, I'd get sharp, I'd become jagged. And this was a challenge that followed me through a lot of my professional career, but the good news is that it eventually taught me that even though opening to receive sometimes means that I might taste something bitter, that doesn't mean that I am bitter. Now, there's a different side to this coin. On the other hand, I also had a hard time receiving compliments, believing that somehow I hadn't earned them, or maybe I was unworthy of the praise that I was receiving. Worse, sometimes I thought that somebody was trying to manipulate me. Like, oh, they're saying nice things about me. What is it that they want? I couldn't trust. I couldn't trust that maybe I might actually have done a good job. Maybe I might have been a good person and been kind and been helpful. I couldn't trust that that kind of person did, in fact, live within me, and that when others would see him, well, I didn't believe it. So receiving, learning to receive is very important. And as you heard from Tamira this morning, you've been hearing from Dr. Edward this month, giving is not possible without receiving. It's like breathing out without also breathing in. And giving without receiving tends to block the flow of life. And I found that that makes things jagged, makes them uncomfortable. just like that pokey rock. In fact, one of the ways that this can show up, psychology's got a term for it. It's called compassion fatigue. And compassion fatigue is when we consistently give out of this sense of obligation while also ignoring our own needs. Maybe that's happened to you. Now, I want to be clear, this idea of compassion fatigue, that doesn't mean that there has to be a limit to our compassion. Rather, what it tells me is that it's important that I'm sharing my compassion authentically from my wise inner self. Another name for this inner self is the spirit within. Ernest Holmes liked to call it the friend within, and I'm fond of that term. I like the idea of this best friend that resides within me, that's always there for me. That self, it's a part of me, really. It's the core of me. It's the core of who you are. And that self is naturally compassionate. Its nature is to give and to be generous and to be compassionate. It doesn't have to effort. It doesn't have to try. It's also wise, and it knows how to balance our giving with our receiving and balance that compassion also with our own needs. And it does this because it does not see us as separate from others. Its goal is for everyone to win, for everyone to be uplifted, not for one person to be uplifted at the expense of another. So when I'm able to learn to recognize when I'm maybe in some of that compassion fatigue, then, well, I can know that even though the giving that I've been practicing probably is doing some good, it's not sustainable. And so in those times, I noticed that I was giving from, I would say, the idea of compassion rather than the limitless source of compassion. But I also learned something else from compassion fatigue, and I learned that when I'm able to open to accept the flow of life, by opening to receive, by getting in touch with my inner self that is effortlessly generous and compassionate, that's when my jagged edges soften. So let's go back to my trip. On my way home from Mono Lake last week, I drove along the Tioga Pass. Has anybody here driven the Tioga Pass? It's one of the most beautiful drives that I've ever done. It winds through the mountains of Yosemite. And I stopped at the Tuolumne Valley and I hiked one of the trails there, and there's tons of trails there. And as I was hiking, I was struck by the huge contrast in the landscape compared to where I'd been camping. I saw green trees everywhere. I saw creeks that were big enough to be their own rivers. And there were these big patches of snow that were just gently melting in the warm sun. And well, I can tell you all around me too, you see some there in that photo, were big and small rocks. But I noticed that these rocks are very different than the ones that were keeping me up all night. All of the rocks were round and they were all smooth. Turns out that they'd all been softened by the flow of life over thousands of years. That flow of life had created whole valleys that, if I'm being really honest, would have been a lot more comfortable of a place to camp. By blocking the rain from that eastern side of the mountain, these mountains were, in a way, blocking the flow of life that was brought by the rain. Now, I want to be clear, this is a metaphor. I'm not saying that there is some malicious deity that says, oh, there's going to be life here and there's going to be no life over here just because I don't like this side of the road. It's a metaphor. But that metaphor, it makes me ask myself, where might I have that mountain within me that's blocking the flow of life? That's blocking that flow from softening my edges. When we're able to receive that flow of life, that flow of life, that whether we're open to receive it or not, it's always there. Well, that allows us to be softened. And when we do this, we allow life to flow a little bit more freely. Just like it's easier for that creek to flow around smooth rocks rather than the jagged ones. Now, rocks are not humans, if you hadn't noticed. And the big difference is that we have a choice about whether or not we receive. That rock, it has to receive everything that comes its way. And I'd even say it's lucky in that sense. It doesn't have to make that choice of what to receive and what not to receive. But recognizing that we always have a choice to receive, that's the key to understanding the second idea that I'm sharing today, and that's the difference between receiving and taking. One of the statements that our Centers for Spiritual Living Global Vision says is that we see a world in which resources are valued, cared for, and grown, and where there is generous and continuous sharing of these resources. So there's three big words in that global vision: valued, shared, and then cared for. We see a world in which we respect and treasure and cherish, and we share life. You might even say share the flow of life. To value means that I'm not taking anything for granted. To care for means that I'm cherishing all that I have and all that I see. And to share means that I'm acknowledging that it's not all about me. It's not only about me. There are other people here who have an equal right to living an amazing life. And these three ideas, they're the key to opening to receive. And when they're not present, it can become very easy to become a taker. And you might recognize some of these. A taker sometimes looks like someone who tries to get much out of their life for their own personal benefit without giving anything back in return. A taker might be somebody who pulls or who yanks or who tugs to get what they want. A taker might be somebody who feels entitled to get what they want. A taker might be someone who uses others to get what they want. A taker is sometimes someone who expects others to cater to them and to their desires. A taker is someone who seems to never get enough of what they want, who the more that they take, the emptier they feel, and because of this, who appear to increasingly need more and more without end. All of those things, it turns out, they're symptoms of what happens when we're not able to receive, and here's why. To be able to receive the flow of life means that I first have to trust in the flow of life. I have to trust that it's not going to harm me. In fact, I have to trust that there is an inherent goodness to it. And so that means that I have to surrender to it. But not in a passive way, because I also have to surrender to the fact that I have a part in expressing life in this world. I get to choose to be engaged in life. In fact, that's a requirement to be in the flow of life and to be able to receive. I know that if I can't trust in life, that's when I tend to believe that I'm the one who has to make life happen. And that's when the taking begins. For me, it's the difference between trusting in the flow of life versus trying to control the flow of life. It's the difference between that jagged rock that irritates everything that it touches versus the smooth rock that allows things to flow. And it's that trust, I've also noticed, that can be the key to being able to balance our giving and receiving. And sometimes I feel like that's one of the biggest challenges that we encounter with spiritual circulation, because we grow up in a society that says that we have to give and we have to give and we have to give, and that somehow it's not okay to receive. But that all comes from a lack of trust, I think. And if I don't learn to trust where the river of life is taking me, if I don't learn to trust that it's ultimately leading me to something good, I'm going to try and paddle upstream, and I'm going to wear myself out in the process. But if I can learn to trust life, then I get to let the river carry me where it is that I want to go. All I have to do at that point is to keep my boat pointed in the right direction and avoid the occasional jagged rock. Learning that trust, though, it's not always easy. That's where I like to look at others in the world who are a great example of people who stepped boldly into their trust. And while I'd like to share a story about someone who I think embodies this perfectly, in 1953, troubled by the suffering that she saw in the Korean War, as well as the McCarthyism that was destroying a lot of lives here in the United States, Mildred Norman gave away all of her possessions, and she began her first peace pilgrimage, walking across the United States with nothing more than a simple tunic that had the name of Peace Pilgrim sewed on the front and the phrase "walking coast to coast for peace" on the back. And wherever she went over her 28 years of travels, she relied on the kindness of others, the generosity of others, always open to receive what she was given. She preached no specific religious path other than peace. And her message was set to resonate with all religions. In fact, people of the Jewish faith or the Buddhist faith or the Christian faith or the Islamic faith, they would hear her message and say, well, that's my religion. They would hear it in what she said. Now, as you might imagine, this was a challenging journey for her. And despite being investigated many times for, I'm going to say air quotes here, un-American activities, how peace can become an un-American activity, that's a separate talk. Well, Mildred stuck with it, and she intentionally walked without personal possessions other than a comb, a folding toothbrush, a ballpoint pen, and copies of her messages. For everything else, she relied on what came to her. And she would continue to walk every day and cross the country 7 times, which means that she wore out 29 pairs of sneakers. And those sneakers averaged 1,500 miles per year. That's 43,500 miles that she walked for peace. And each of those miles, she relied on receiving the kindness and the generosity of absolute strangers. So if that isn't trusting in the flow of life, I don't know what is. So what was her secret? Well, I believe that Mildred Norman, who later changed her name to Peace Pilgrim, learned to trust life by stepping boldly into what her open heart was calling her to do. Now, most of us probably are not called to walk 43,500 miles for peace, though if you are, let me know, I'll buy you some sneakers. But I believe that each of us does have a calling, that voice of the Spirit within us that wants to express, that wants to create. And when we can tap into it, when we can learn to trust it, just like Peace Pilgrim clearly trusted her inner voice, that's when we open ourselves to receive all the wonders that this universe, that this existence has to offer. So I think, in a sense, in order to truly receive, we have to first give of ourselves, give of our authentic selves by sharing our calling, by sharing our creativity, by sharing our authentic self-givingness and compassion, really by sharing our self with a capital S with the world. I might even say that to truly receive requires a radically open heart. So here's the essence of what we've talked about today. Learning to receive is just as important as cultivating a generous heart. In fact, that generous heart, it can't have just one or the other. Giving requires receiving, and receiving requires giving. And there's a big difference between receiving and taking. To truly receive means that we learn to trust the universe, trust that the universe is for us, that there's an inherent good, even though we may see many harmful things in the world. It's learning to trust in ourselves, too, and that we have a part to play in the goodness in this world. If we don't have that trust, then it becomes easy to become a taker, someone who tries to control the flow of life rather than riding along its currents. And it's possible to build trust in the universe, to build trust in spirit, and then balance our giving and our receiving when we discover that inner wise self within us and what we are called to do, who we are called to be in this world, and then sharing that generously with the world. I think it's this initial act of generosity and trust that primes the spiritual pumps for us to receive all of the beauty and the wonder that this universe has to give. So I want to leave you with these questions to ponder over the weeks to come. What is the calling of your heart? What fills you with passion and purpose? What would you be doing no matter what, even if you were never getting paid for it? Once you know that, ask yourself this: how can I share this part of me with the world so that I might be able to open to receive and ride on that flow of generosity that is the very source of all life? If you can answer these questions, then I believe that any jagged edges in your life, they'll be smoothed out by the flow of the love in your heart. So at the end of the trip, what I've learned is that there's beauty in rocks. They have things to teach, and they're the very foundation, literally, on which we stand. And it's through the smoothing of our rocky edges, through receiving, through trusting, receiving with a deep trust in the universe, it's through that we build a legacy of generosity. Eventually, I know that our edges will become so smooth that we become a part of the flow of life itself. Just like a rock in a stream, over a long enough time, eventually becomes so smooth, it's impossible to tell where the rock ends and the river begins. Let's take that into prayer. There is only one life, one source of all creation. It is everywhere and it is everything. This infinite source creates through the self-givingness of its love. I am a part of this infinite source of creation, and that means that its infinite nature is my infinite nature, because nothing can limit that which is limitless. The power of creation resides within me, and that self-givingness of spirit expresses through me always. Knowing that spirit's nature is generous, I open to that generosity now. I open to receive the love that is the essential nature of all things. I open my heart to hear and accept the call of the Divine One at the center of my being. I know that even though I sometimes encounter challenges in the world, nothing can diminish the voice of Spirit within. Nothing can close my heart so much that I am unable to receive the unconditional love that is the very foundation of this existence. My heart is open to receive, here and now, always. Feeling my heart open, I am filled with gratitude. I release my word into the law of mind that is always responding and reflecting the open nature of my heart. I let go and I let it be. And together we say, and so it is. I invite you all to take a nice deep breath, breathing in, let out a big sigh. We use our breath to help us move into the giving portion of our practice of spiritual circulation here at our center. It's our opportunity to support the flow of life here in this community. So if you choose to support us financially today, there's a number of ways that you can give. You can go on our website, cslsr.org/donate, and give online. We also have text to give that I like to use because it's very fast and easy. And we will pass the baskets today. So I invite our ushers to stand and hold the sacred space, and I invite you to hold your gift close to your heart as a symbol of your heart connection to this community, and repeat after me. I bless my gift. I send it forth to heal and prosper. It does wonderful work in the world. And so it is. Ushers, please receive the gift.
Guide my day, open my heart to live your way. Teach me to hear your voice, open my mind to the freedom of choice. Sing it with me. Spirit, guide my day, open my heart to live your way. Teach me to hear your voice, open my mind with the freedom of choice. Spirit, guide my day, open my heart to live your way. Teach me to hear your voice, open my mind to the freedom of choice.
Okay, one more time. We love these guys. Let's give them a little more. We really do. Honoring the memory of those we have loved and lost is a tender way to keep their presence alive in our hearts. It's through remembrance that their light continues to walk beside us and within us. If there is someone special you wish to honor, we invite you to share their name for inclusion in our annual remembrance service, taking place on Wednesday, November 5th at 7 p.m. And I've been a part of that for 15 years, and it is the most tender, sweetest service. There is so much love that holds the sadness and the joy all wrapped up together. It's amazing. Names can be submitted through our website at the information desk. During the service, each name is read lovingly aloud as we gather in community to reflect and remember those who have sweetly touched our lives. Do you love to sing? Do you enjoy poetry? Appreciate the quiet beauty of meditation? Imagine experiencing all three of those in one inspiring evening with Karen Drucker. Yeah. She's going to be here on Wednesday, November 12th at 7 p.m. at a Gratitude Taizé service, which is a sacred time of music, reflection, and heartfelt connection. Karen will lead us in an uplifting blend of song and poetry and stillness that celebrates gratitude and our sweet community. No registration needed. Simply come and be a part of it. And the event is offered on a love offering basis. Twice a year, teens from across Centers for Spiritual Living gather for a life-changing experience at teen camp, one in the winter and one in the summer. It's a time of connection, spiritual growth, and joyful discovery. You can help our teens attend camp by contributing to the winter camp fundraising efforts. Today is the final day to order your festive holiday wreaths and delicious C's candies. Perfect for gifting, okay, let's admit it, or enjoying yourself. If you've got a sweet tooth that can't wait, the teens also have a bake sale happening right now. Stop by and support our amazing youth. Our trustees are an integral part of the success of our community. Each year, 3 members of our Board of Trustees complete their 3-year term. And that means we have an opportunity to fill those 3 positions for the next term that begins in March of 2026. You'll hear more about what it means to be a trustee from our board president, Adrienne Bose, next Sunday. If you would like to apply, you can find the form on our website as well as the information desk. Finally, Thanksgiving is just around the corner. That means we have a music-filled Thanksgiving Eve service planned for you on Wednesday, November 26th at 7 p.m. You can join us at the center also on Thanksgiving Day for a 1 p.m. Thanksgiving Day potluck. Sign up for the potluck on the website to let us know what you'd like to bring. The organizers want you to know you don't have to bring a turkey. Have a wonderful week.
Thank you, Tamira, for letting us know what's going on in our community. I also want to let everybody who's here know you can also sign up for the potluck over at the info desk. We've got a sign-up sheet there. Okay, it is time to bring our service to a close, but before we do, if you've been having a challenging time, if you're looking for spiritual support, or if you'd like to spend time with one of our practitioners and just have them affirm something wonderful occurring in your life right now, please take advantage of our after-service prayer. If you're watching online, there's instructions on how to join our free online and confidential Zoom prayer. And if you're here in the room, you can go back into the white table there where Angel is standing, and she'll direct you to one of our prayer practitioners who'd love to pray about whatever your heart desires. Okay. Let us all stand as we're able, and please repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in my affairs. I think it, I feel it, and I accept it. Just the way that it is, and just the way that it is not. Thank you, life. Know with me that you are never alone. That Spirit is right where you are, that you have only to look within at any moment to know that you're guided, sustained, and inspired by a presence that expresses itself as you in this world. In deepest gratitude, let us live our lives accordingly so that in everything that we do and we say and we think, we honor this presence within. And so it is. Thank you for being here and being in our community. And join us at 7 p.m. for our upcoming Wednesday service this Wednesday. And let's close in song.
I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm